guitarists. That's a good one. Anyway, the subject of this video is how to turn your Frankie Relic Stripe Series guitar into something that looks more realistic. When these first came out, I think like 2 years ago, I was really blown away by the neck. I mean, I think that's probably a common theme, is that the necks on these things are really great. So I think the Fender Custom Shop, I think it was about 13 years ago, yeah, 07, they came out with the Frankenstein Custom Shop Relics, or not Relics, but whatever they were calling them before. But they did not, you know, you would think that if you're spending $25,000 for a guitar, that you would be getting everything exactly right. But what I found was, and I'll point a couple things out in this video, the main thing is that we want to convert your Stripe Series Frankenstein into a beast. And then I'm going to show you or talk about all the painting things I did and all the upgrades and everything like that will be done with this video. So anyway, like I said, these things were just absolutely amazing. I started looking at the paint job going, you know what? This is really not too far off from the original. So I thought, well, gosh, I think we want something that's more realistic. And I think this certainly adds value to this instrument and its impact on history. So anyway, let's get started on this, and we're going to start right now, to borrow that phrase from my wife. Okay, well, I know this looks crazy, but anyway, this is all the things I used, all the tools, all the paint that I used to get the original EVH Stripe Series Frankie to look more like the authentic Frankenstein. Okay. So anyway, let's start over here. You know, different assorted paintbrushes is what you'll need. You'll definitely need, what I did was I went to Sherwin-Williams and did a color match on the red, black, and white. Here's the dark red that I used to give the appearance that the black was coming through the red. Dremel tool, of course, to, you know, because there's certain spots where it has to wear through to the wood. And let's see, yeah, of course, all the basic stuffs like soldering iron. If you want to get an X-Acto blade, you're going to need that. Like I said, black and brown shoe polish. You know, if you can find some of this testers, here's the dark red that I used. That's Stuart McDonald is where I got the shims, the maple shims, and also the lacquer. Oh, and one thing that was really, I thought, great, and you may think this is over the top, but you know, the inside cavity where you have a pickup, a single coil pickup that doesn't work, that's red, and then you have the Frankenstein humbucker pickup that he carved out. Well, he screwed a, you know, like a, looks like a 5-way switch into the middle cavity. And actually, I think I could show you that over here real quick. This is all in pieces, but anyway, you see the cavity there, how it's all grungy and dirty and all that. Well, the original I thought looked kind of like, looked exactly like that. So what I did was I got the wax brush, and I got this stuff ordered online. It's a chalk paint furniture wax, and you know, you use this stuff to maybe antique your furniture and that kind of thing. But the cool thing is, you kind of, what I did was I took the brush, put it in the wax, waxed up that center area, and then I used this thing called Grunge It, and this is like a bunch of gray, almost gray looking dust. And anyway, I thought it turned out pretty good. So, oh, I did forget. yeah, when you have all these different things, I had to use markers, and I used the paint that I mentioned and the enamel paint that I mentioned. What I did was I painted up a painter stir stick, paint stir stick, whatever. Um, and then I tested the clear coat on top of that to make sure that I don't get any weird chemical reactions and mess things up. That would have been a real drag. But yeah, recommend doing that. Whatever you use, make sure if you want to put the lacquer to um, basically preserve the work that you did, you want to make sure you test it out and you don't have any problems with chemicals and that sort of thing. Um, I think that's it as far as the tools go. What I did here, I'll show you how I did this to get the detail. So I blew up, here's the headstock, and you want to blow it up to about the same size as, let's see, about the same size as the actual guitar neck, which I've got right here. And that looks pretty good right there. And what I did was I took that, see, here's the actual picture. And I took that and I put some tracing paper over the top. And I did this in advance already just to save time on the video. But you can see there's the, oops, turn around, okay. There's the picture, and then here's the tracing, and I traced the marks, right? And then what you do next, you got to get you some wax-free transfer paper, right? This is going to transfer this onto the actual headstock. Now, I believe this is, it's erasable, the marks that are made. So anyway, that's how I did that. And then, of course, this is one tool I forgot to mention. I tried doing the whole, I've seen guys do cigarettes and all that. I no longer smoke, but to me, I thought it was just not great, and it didn't turn out very accurate looking. But what does make it look accurate is actually getting a little wood burner, right? This is, you can find this in a hobby shop, and this is what I use to get the designs initially. Now I tried to do it freehand, and it didn't turn out as well. So I sanded that down, and now I'm going to try to get a little more detail, and I'll show you when it's all done. The burner burns a little bit dark, but I'll have to touch this up with a little bit of sanding and probably do the old shoe polish trick. Okay, I just wanted to show you the end result of all that tracing and transfer paper. As you can see, it does a pretty good job. Now, I'll be honest, to get some of the coloring, I did have a light brown marker and a dark brown marker to get some of those areas. So it's a combination of that and shoe polish to kind of get that look. I think I went over the entire headstock with a light brown shoe polish, which you're going to find that is actually what I believe they used on the fingerboard. On the back, put way too much black shoe polish, or it looks like black shoe polish, but I did manage to clean some of that, and I'll show you that here in a minute. All right, let's talk about a little bit more about the details of how I got this to look more like the original. There was, with color matching and all that, with the paint colors, the red, black, and white. I had to adjust this stripe here. There is like some sort of weird goo. Don't know if that's THC or whatever, but here's where I took the dark red spray paint to make it look like the black was actually popping out of the color. I figured that was a better way to go than trying to sand and get the same thing. So you can see where I took the dark red and went over the black areas. The tone knob, there's a little bit of rust in the original. There's a cigarette burn here. These, I believe, are pics from the 1984 tour. I know that Edward used either duct tape, which that's a piece of duct tape. Let's see, this spot right here, you see this guy? This is where I got the maple shims from stumac.com. That's actually just a piece of maple that I shoe polished because I didn't want, I don't like the look of the neck with that big gap here in the middle. I don't know if you're dating myself, but if you know who Michael Spinks was, I think it was a boxer. He had his 2 front teeth knocked out, so that's what it looked like. It looks like the neck is like a Michael Spinks neck. So anyway, so I just took a shim, a maple shim, put a little shoe polish on it, and just very lightly glued that over the top. So you can still get to the truss rod, but you have to take the pickup out to get to it. And how often do you have to adjust your truss rod? Not a whole lot. So look at the edges here. This is where a lot of the striping they did on the Stripe series Frankie Relics. What I did was, of course, you've got to scuff or use like high, like triple aught steel wool to get the edges a little rougher so paint will stick to it. And that's what I did here. You can see the details there. What I tried to do was copy those pictures directly. And I had to use a brush. So if I had to do it over, I'd use an airbrush. I'd learn how to do that. That would probably make things simpler, but I did manage to do it all with just a regular brush. So looking at the back of this, you know, the little things like, you know, the white piece of tape. If you look at the plate, you can see scratches on it. That is actually scratched with the bogus serial number. That is scratched up to be a lot like the original. Then you've got some times, I guess, where Edward threw the guitar on top of the case, and this is actually marks that were made from the blue color on the case. What else? Let's see. Also, that's a primary difference, that the custom shop reflectors, they had more of a diamond pattern, but the truth of it is the original actually has more of a waffle-like pattern on it. So that's just blue tape. And like I said, I did fill these in a little bit. I got most of these details from using a Sharpie marker, and then after I did try to make it look like the pictures, I did shoot a clear coat over the top to seal the work. So anyway, these got the size 6 eye hooks. This I tried to make look like the original as best I could. So anyway, that's the back of the guitar, and certainly compare that to the pictures. I'll put a link down to the Van Halen news desk. That's vhnd.com, and you can see Edward's original amplifier rig and the Play It Loud exhibit that has the guitar. All right, let's talk about upgrades. The very first thing that I upgraded was the pickup, because I think they originally come with a Wolfgang pickup, but I changed it to a Frankenstein pickup, which is a little bit hotter. Also, the tone knob, or actually the tone pot or volume pot, was changed to one of the new EVH frictionless pots, which are really nice. Also, we went away from the cheap Korean Floyd Rose, which the D-Tuna doesn't seem to work well with. But we, and my friend Rob, got me this as a gift. It's the German style Floyd Rose, or German made Floyd Rose. Also comes with the R3 nut up here. So that's the other thing I changed. Originally it came with a chrome detuna. I know the detuna is not on the original instrument, but I went ahead and got the black one to, I guess, kind of conceal it more. Oh, there is one more thing, and that is these guys right in here, these little block inserts. They are, let's see, I guess they use a cheaper metal, but you can actually go to stumac.com and you can get these titanium inserts, which I believe a tech had talked about. They had upgraded the bridge, little blocks right in here. You can buy the titanium ones, which are just amazing. I think they kind of bring a little more brilliance to the tone of the instrument. But yeah, that was definitely an upgrade too. I think they cost like 30 bucks on StuMac's site. So check it out. So in this segment, let's talk about things that I couldn't really change. And there's a few of those. Like, I didn't find a need for me to replace the machine heads. They look, pretty close to the original Schallers. If you notice too, I have the D-Tuna, and I used a black one instead to kind of conceal it a little bit more. Those are things I couldn't really change. The 22nd fret. I think Edward, when he had his Kramer endorsement, he did buy a Kramer neck. So there are pictures of the Frankenstein with a 22 fret neck, which is what I tried to emulate here. Well, the final step in this whole process, got the guitar all done, but I called Anvil and asked them if they had any cases that were kind of like beat up stock or anything like that. So yeah, I saved a couple $100 and I got the Anvil case, which they had put the interior in just like the custom shop Frankenstein's. And I was gonna, this is where I'm gonna take a little bit of artistic license. And that is when Edward kind of did it by hand, the logo. But what I'm gonna do is the real logo. I'm going to, like do this section in a dark blue and cut these out, and that's going to be like the matte white color. So I thought, anyway, that'll look better. Well, that should do it. Certainly, if you have any questions, just put something below. Leave me a message. I'll try to be prompt and reply. And I'm sure there's probably questions or things that I forgot to mention. But anyway, thanks for watching.